Hello everyone and welcome back to the Simulation 2 video. Today we have a very interesting game here between Gustgod and Avalser. This is the promotion slash demotion game for FOB Arena Season 2. So this is the league that we have. And yeah, so the better of those will be playing in Division 2 and the loser will be playing in Division 3. Now, Avalser has won game 1. It's a best of 3. This one is game 2. So let's see how that one goes. I can already tell you that the matchup looks very interesting because none of these divisions I would ever first pick. So in my opinion, someone here screwed up. At least not on this map. I won't first pick it. Any of those. And, you know, it's not a match I would ever expect to see because both of them have some significant issues that the other can exploit. So Guards Armoured, first of all, very interestingly unbalanced here, is, you know, it just can't handle IS2s. That is it. Its armor can't do anything to them. But at the same time, 43rd really struggles with strong air force. And you know, Guards Armoured has a good air force, so that's kind of how it goes. So I'm quite curious to see what those two players can do with their divisions, and I think we just look at the deck first, and then we get right into it. So we're going to start with 43rd Reserve by Avalser, and you know, there's some interesting choices here, although some of the things are not really choices, they're just as they are. So recon that we do have some BA-10s, which is, you know, standard, and then we have the motorized Svedka coming in at double that, so only has 2 recon for the whole game, which is quite, you know, most people wouldn't really do it that way, but again, Avalser sometimes does certain things really just quite different from everyone else, and it works usually, so what else can I say? Inventory time is actually quite low, and there's also something that I've noticed in multiple games that I've seen from Avalser. That being said, yeah, for the map, I think it's okay. But still, you know, 18 of those 66 are Cherno, so it's not a lot of actual infantry, like proper infantry. Now, what he has, though, is quite interesting. Obviously, there's a lot of CQC, which honestly on this map is not that bad because there's many patches where you actually need more CQC than anything else. And this is also not really a choice that he made. It's really just a division that is like that. But there's not really a lot of proper line infantry in A phase, except for the Chernos, because the only thing that he has is Strafniki Officeri, which is a regular Strafniki, but with Fanatical. He also has the other version of it, which is the CQC version. This thing is really good, like 10 PPSH and 5 PPS 43s with shock. Pretty good. This thing slaps. Then we have some of the usual things, you know, with the Tanko, these guys appear in C phase. So this is both for CQC and line infantry for C phase, since it doesn't really have any other options, which can actually sometimes come in handy, surprisingly. But the availability obviously is rather bad. 2 special things here, or one thing that is, you know, again, Avalser just built this division differently. He's the leader amount. You have 2 cards of leaders, one in A, one in B. This is actually a nice one, at least at close range. It can actually defend itself, it can actually fight. But still, it's interesting with this division to take 2 of those. And then we do have, of course, Saperi Rocks, which is a nice little hybrid unit. But so this can make it actually quite difficult for Guards Armoured to fight in any of the CQC areas. Difficult is an understatement, basically impossible. Tank Tab has some obvious issues. So first of all, he doesn't actually get any 2K in A phase. And as you can probably think, that is a massive problem on a map that is very 2K heavy. He has some 750 meter range, but also not a whole lot. And I think in A phase he can actually get bullied by Guards Armoured quite a bit. In B phase he can then bully Guards Armoured because he has the IS2s. And Guards Armoured doesn't really have an answer to that. Support Tab has, you know, a nice little special military police unit that can fight as well. So you can actually really nicely combine this with the journals. Then you have lots of 2K AT tab, very limited. This is basically what you get. There's at least some more 1750 meter range, but still not a whole lot. A tab, one of the big issues of this division, obviously. He takes what he has. I'm surprised that it doesn't take more because he's playing against a division that has a scary air force. So I personally would not be happy with this, but Avalser seems to be fine with that. It's some more 1750 meter range, which is not bad. Artillery tab, I'm actually surprised about him bringing 2 cards of mortars, but you don't really have other options. It's just that it's getting expensive. So I'm surprised that he brings those at all. And the air tab, you know, people can actually go quite Iceman with this division. So another surprise here that it doesn't. Maybe it's for the better, but, you know, I think it might actually be able to do quite well. It just has some recon, a fighter bomber, a fighter, which you absolutely need in this division. This is a good one too. And there's some cluster planes, which, if it's the same one as 6 Corp will get, it's really bad. I can tell you that much. Now, on the side, we do have Guards Armoured, and this one also doesn't have that much infantry, but this should also be said, by the way, for a Avalser stack. You know, on this map, you don't need that much. So both of them being low in infantry on this particular map is really not that surprising. In the recon of it, you have the Reki coming in with, I believe, the 2-inch mortar. Yep, it is. Whenever you see this, the 15-point recon unit at 30 points, you pretty much know it's this. Staghound, Cromwell, Recon, and some Stuart's Recon. So you learned from Koenig here with the light armor, by the looks of it. Although these are a little bit pricey what they do. Infantry tab, nothing special, some motorized rifles in the 50 cal half track in A phase and field infantry, so not a lot of A phase infantry. And then rifle split in B and C phase and assault engineers as well. Tank tab, the leader Stuart. I really love this because you can actually use those as your infantry leaders in pretty much everywhere that is not pure CQC, which honestly on this map there's not that many spots where you actually really need an infantry leader. Then some Shermans in B phase only. It's quite interesting actually, because you know, if you take them, there's an argument to be made that you might not necessarily need them on this map, but against D34 they're still nice. But it's quite interesting to see that he only takes them in B phase, not in A or C. But anyway, then we do see some Fireflies in B phase only as well, and the challenges, which, you know, there's really nothing wrong with those. They're quite nice to have. Also quite a bit cheaper than the Firefly. And honestly, except for T3485, which does limited numbers of, there's actually not that many things that, you know, this thing needs to fear. Because, yeah, against T3485, this thing might lose. But against anything else that that is not an IS2, you know, this will be just fine. Support tab, some Vickers in A and B phase to help out his infantry probably, and, you know, secure the range a bit. 2 Cromwell. AT tab, he has one card of 6 pounders, and the Wolverines in A and B phase still to have something 1750 meter range, but the rest is really just Achilles and 17 pounder, which is quite nice. And they will do the same job basically as the Firefly, so there's that. In AA tab is actually nice as well. He definitely needs to go a little bit heavier against a potential air spammy division like 43rd, even though we know that it's not that air spammy, with some Crusaders and Bofors. Artillery, some Saxons, Long Toms, and the off-map. To be honest, I'm not a huge fan of the off-map on this map, because I find it mostly not to be that relevant, although there's always cases, sometimes cases, where it ends up being useful. But the artillery is definitely really nice, because obviously he will want to clear out the AA from 43rd, so that he can, you know, have a go at dominating 43rd again. Now the air tab, yes, the Mosquito, the fighter bomber Typhoon in B phase, and in A phase obviously the rocket Typhoon, which is definitely going to be needed to deal with those ISOs. I'm kind of surprised he didn't decide to take them in B phase, where, you know, you could just get more of them, which against all the IS2s might not be that bad of a call. But the most interesting thing here that actually really stands out is balance, which is not something I would usually play with this division, but, you know, let's see what actually happens here. So let's get going with the deployment. So notably, of course, Gustgod is on the bad side because these 3 flags is relatively easy to grab for blue side, and that's obviously going to make it difficult. Especially these 2 are going to be tricky for Gustgod because his CQC is not up for the task. At the same time, this one's going to be tricky for Avalser to really take, and maybe Gustgod can, you know, take advantage of that, because obviously there's a lack of 2K in A phase. Now over here, we do have a relatively large deployment from Avalser. It's not really surprising. This is a place where you can push very easily. We do see some armor there as well. We do see a lot of we do see some disheartened spam. Not an awful lot of CQC, actually none to be precise, which is quite surprising. But then again, you know, in this matchup, you don't get the speed advantage that just allows you to rush in there. But this, of course, makes sense against something like Staghound, which we do see. Now, Gustgod goes, so he sends some units over here as soon as he's at the armor. The 2K tanks is probably Staghound rushing forward, and he tries to get some CQC in here and some motorized rifles as well, which definitely makes sense. He wants to obviously not lose that flag right away, and this thing is good at preventing this kind of rush. Like actually to see that he doesn't try to rush and transport send himself, which against Slovenes would be futile, but that he actually, you know, deploys it more defensively to prevent, you know, things rushing in. For the open, we do have an Achilles and a Cromwell. No recon though. That is going towards the open as far as I can tell. I'm not sure where this is going. Oh, this is going there. Interesting. Yeah, so no actual recon to spot for them. That could be a bit of a problem. Over here, same kind of thing with the Staghound, but also some Vickers and Field Engineers. coming in. Something Russian there. That's probably... No, it's one of the field engineers. I guess in case nothing is there, but the generals are there. And the BA-10. Now over here, we do have... Oh, still have those selected. Over here we have a defense deployment by Avalser, Stravniki Officery, and then just some regular journals. Some journals, sorry. Over here, a tank. One of the few tanks. There's like one tank here and then a 2K tank. And here we actually do have our T-34. But again, not a lot of range here for Avalser, really. Defensive deployment once again. And up here, also defensive deployment. Avalser doesn't even try to contest this. Gustgod tries to get in. Right? Yeah, he does. Oh, but he didn't select this way. He went over here. Now, with this matchup, that might actually work. Usually is a problem. But let's just see where this leads. But yeah, so this is something that Red can try to get at the start. Both players get there roughly around the same time, if they have the same speed. So there's not really anyone who gets an advantage there. So I'm not really sure. Well, no, Blue's usually a little bit faster. Now, Red can take this road, but it's a bit risky if there's anything over here. I think the Maxim is actually going to get in there in time to prevent that. No, the range is not sufficient. It's not an MG42, obviously. So it doesn't have... It only has 1,000 meter range, so it can actually cut this off, and these are too slow to arrive. So it's actually going to get in. Oh, I've missed out. We have an 85mm right at start. That can actually be irrelevant here, because it not only provides air coverage, AA coverage for, you know, the little push that's happening. It's an interesting push as well, by the way. I mean, there's really not that much infantry, considering that there is the forest patch. We have air coverage over here right away, though, as well. Engineers not in the range to use the TNT, but the Cromwell 6 can help. Can help them. We have a 1410 for Gustgod. Oh, one of the field engineers got in here, and the fact that, you know, Avalser only has to max him and deployed it defensively there means that it actually, yeah, this actually works. Engineers got in there. Motorized rifles are going in there defensively. We have the first Yak 9B in as well. It goes after the Cromwell. This thing has, I think, a decent bomb loadout. Yep, it does. Oh, wow, it actually killed it. Damn. I mean, I knew it had a good bomb loadout, but I didn't know it was that good. Okay. Okay. He's cooking. Flying over the Crusader A. It's not vetted, which, you know, it makes sense since there's only 3. So I think it's going to get out. Yeah, one Crusader usually doesn't kill. I say usually. It can. So that's quite important because there's only 3 of those in all of Gustgod's deck. Oh, here we do see the engagement. So first of all, the Staghound did go down. The 45mm. SC-122 is now in as well. So it's the 85. Oh, there's only Wolverines. So it's not actually 2K, but the Achilles is moving in. And obviously that one has 2K, so you can actually push forward. And yeah, exactly. Get into a nice position from there to support the here. So if you control the open, you can actually do these kind of things. Quite nicely. It's actually one of the strengths that Red has. If, you know, you're not concerned about the hill, which could always be an issue if something flanking there. Like even something with 1750 meter range like the T-34 coming in could become a problem if it moves into line of sight there and has the range it needs immediately. Half track should easily get killed off by the BA-10. It's not really the strongest tool right there. Cromwell 6 pushing forward. That might actually be a little bit of a mistake, as it might get too close to the Su-85. It just needs to move forward a little bit. The Wolverine is not actually covering it off. But at the same time, I think it might be able to move enough. Second now shifting. No, not really. Achilles is falling back. He might have spotted the T-34 and might not be aware that there's not a 44 version, so it doesn't actually have the 2K. We do have a Crusader A up north, by the way, to cover off, to provide AA coverage there as well, and the Bofors now in... Oh, that's way too far back. The Bofors over here will not really do much to stop the Yak. If it goes after the Achilles, yes. But you could still, you know, you can definitely go further there. 45mm going after the Vickers, but the Cromwell 6, no, it doesn't spot it actually. No, it does. Somehow retarget. Oh, BA-10 might actually go after the Crusader, and he can get the kill on that. The 6-pound unloads now, it might be able to save it. It needs 1 hit on the BA-10. Well, losing that Crusader would be quite problematic, considering that the Yak actually, you know, was quite powerful. There we go, we got a pen. But fortunately for the Crusader, it has the health of a tank, so it has 10 HP. The 10 is going after the 2-inch carrier. Dangerous things happening here. Recon Cromwell is on the way though. Wolverine is pushing forward. That might not be the best engagement because against the Su-85... no, actually I forgot. It has basically the same armor. This thing's so bad. Oh, there we go. Carrier goes down. 6-pounder is slowly pushing forward. 15 and 9 for Gustgod still. He's definitely using his advantage quite well. Yeah, can I did get another bombing run in? I don't know on what though. No, definitely not whatever is over there. Oh, on the field engineers, I see. Shadow's now moving forward. Gustgod actually made a mistake by not covering this off with his machine gun, but you kind of need to get in there if you really want to properly do that, or you have 2k over here. But the position he is currently, he can't actually prevent this move from moving in. And that will bring it to 14-10 for Avalser again. Now, Avalser slowly reinforcing his infantry there, and he's actually making the smart play here of moving around here with his armor to not, you know, face the Achilles, but actually just move through there. Now that can still be cut off by the Achilles, and the Achilles is already moving in position to do just that. A really nice thinking ahead there by Gustgod. Now he needs to be careful. As you can see from the range indicator, the T-34 moving in there would actually be able to contest that. Oh, now the Yaks are going after this. We do have the Mosquito coming. Now this is actually a little bit problematic because this thing has a really annoying crit. So it has a crit table, I think, of biplanes, maybe because it's out of wood. And this makes it so that this thing can actually die relatively easily. The Yakuna is actually quite fast. Is it fast enough though? No, this is always going to show the speed. So this is... No, the Yak is not going to catch that. The speed is always higher when it dropped the bomb. More akin to the plane that doesn't have any bombs. But pretty sure it doesn't have the same speed as Mosquito. And obviously, even it has exactly the same speed, it will not catch up if it's not in range to shoot it. Now, it will never be. Now, 6-pounder is repositioning, so at the moment not a position where it can threaten any of these armor. Cromwell is trying to stop some of the infantry though, and obviously the lack of any bazookas is again a bit of a problem here. T-34 trying to engage. It has to be very careful here against the Achilles. However, there's nothing actually to providing recon for Gustgod, so even if the T-34 was to engage, I think he wouldn't spot it. The Vickers helps, obviously, so that's good that that's coming in. Might not do the trick, though. We do have a Saxon now in here. It has not been used so far, I don't think. No, it hasn't. 90 shells. Not a field engineer is coming. I actually love that Gustgod uses those so nicely. Like, he's gotten the advantage in here. Or he's actually he's killed the T-34 somehow. Did this get a side shot on there? Oh, no, it's BA-10. This is the T-34. I don't know how it died. I mean, Stackham has to go... Oh, the Cromwell. The Cromwell. Probably the Cromwell and the Stackham double teamed it. Something like that. I was just going to say, I love the fact that it uses those field engineers to get, something cheap in there to hold. Not sure what the motorized rifles is for. We have a Vickers now in. I guess you want some range for that as well. Over here, Strathnic Officer could actually overwhelm the motorized rifles as long as the Cromwell is not there to help, and the Vickers obviously is not really doing much. Gustgod's actually playing quite slow at the moment. He lost to 15-9 though, except for this one, but that's an easy fix. So he lost that flag over there, and that means he very, very soon will lose his double tick, which against Maverick income is nice to have in a phase. So he is not actually dependent on having it. Sex now moving in over here as well. So it looks like he feels confident and wants to prepare for a grind. More armor moving in here as well. T-34 76 is trying to move around, but there's a 6-pounder there. The question is the infantry going to spot it? And I think it might actually be in range to shoot it as well. Reveals itself. So that could be a little bit tricky there. Oh, it looks like the armor here got killed off too. Maybe by the Achilles? So I think this is where, yep, the Su-85 was there, and the Su-122 as well. Yak 9 came in for yet another bombing run. Killed off the Vickers. Motorized rifles is in though. If the half-track helps, I know that this thing is an AT rifle, but if the half-track helps, I think it can easily overwhelm that. Now, the T-3485 over there, on the other hand, that's going to be a massive problem because there's nothing with range over there, and the only thing that's coming in is a Stewart. Gustgod is also reinforcing it with a Bofors, which, honestly, since there's no flag threatened here, and he has the Crusader, I think it's actually a bit of an overkill there. I don't think the benefits are really that massive. This, where he also has massive forces, is where it's at, but Crusader is so close over here that the Yak 9 is easily forced off. The Crusader, the Steward leader should actually, in my opinion, go next to the Crusader. That would actually be fantastic for stopping things. And the Saxon can do massive damage if Avalser is slowing down. And Avalser is also taking it slow. He kind of has to. So Avalser is not panicking, which is the most important. He brought it back to 1410, and his B-phase income is about to kick in, and he will soon be able to bring out his IS-2s. He will need some AA coverage, though, when he wants to get down. So this 180 gun over here is not going to do it. But once the IS-2 is here, this flag will not be on Gustgod's side anymore, and this flag will soon follow. With the IS-2 over here, you can definitely have enough pressure to force the Achilles to back off, which gives Avalser more leverage over here, like more room to maneuver over here, and could open up new opportunities for him. Unless, of course, you know, this flank here is completely blocked off by Gustgod with an Achilles or something like that. Now, over here, T-34, one of them has been killed, the other one has moved to cover. 50 cal is trying to force things away. Oh, and the Vickers is being forced off by the 85 mil. Oh, Cromwell 6 is moving in, though. It doesn't have enough coverage if both Yak 9s are coming in. I think they could actually kill it off once again. But, oh no, Avalser has noticed, he's moving away. Might take some damage, but I think it will survive. It's actually quite ballsy to have this thing so close, but again, he doesn't have anything else, and if he is too far back against Western allies, it's just not going to stop any planes, so he kind of has to. Which is not ideal, but, it, you know, that's the trick. Ooh, the Steward might actually get killed here by another AT grenade. Is it going to be enough? No. Oh, pinned just in time. T-34 could move forward slightly and get the kill on the Steward, though. I just think it'll also not surrender. There's a leader next to it anyway, but even if there wasn't, a lot of ammo needs to be used up for that. Now over here we do have a T-34 leader coming in, interestingly enough. Probably Avalser hoped that this would be just enough to fight whatever's over there, but obviously can't move too far forward or the Achilles will force it back. Yak 9 coming in, it's not going for the fighter bomber duty, it's just going after the Vickers. But the recon plane is actually really nice because it can get a kill on the T-3045. Ooh, that was a dangerous turn. It could have gotten the burst off from the IL-2, but it's not going to happen. Now, one single up over and the Crusader could actually kill the Yak 9. It's not, I think it's low resilience. Oh, the Typhoon gets a kill. But now it's time to get out of there. He does not want to continue playing around there. Going for the IL-2 is definitely not, you know, a useful thing to do. No, he's going for it. It's going to despawn any second anyway, but it gives Avalser time to buy a fighter, and right now he could potentially get on the back. Like as it was in the turn, you could get on the back of it, and even if you have a slower plane, it would still be enough to shoot it down. So whenever you have the chance to, you know, maneuver just at the back of something, as it's turning, it's obviously, you know, even if it's a faster plane, as it's turning, that speed advantage doesn't really matter that much, and you call it in just the right moment. If your opponent is that far back, that's goodbye to your plane. And you definitely don't want to have that with a 150-point plane. That you need to deal with the ISU that just arrived. So the open should now fall to Avalser any second. Saxon is moving up really close. I love to see it though, and it can do actually massive damage over here. T-34 versus Steward, obviously not a good fight for the Steward. Oh, he got a kill on this T-34. That's nuts. It was already damaged then. Probably got a pen by the 6-pounder here as well. Then moved into cover, and now got penned by the Steward. At this range, obviously, you can definitely do that. But Saxon in this distance with radio coverage, both by itself and the recon crumble there, is definitely going to be quite deadly. You could even go after those if they continue to be annoying. Not sure if they have achieved so much so far. There has been some shelling over here, but I don't think much was gained from it. Unless they killed the Cromwell 6 that used to be, but I think this one is the one that used to be and it's just shifted. I kind of missed it though. Oh no, and everything here is pinned. It could actually, like, if the leaders are pinned as well, which they... no, this one is not. So I was going to say the finishers could move forward, but it's probably not going to do it. Yeah, at this range, 85mm can actually stop something. At least Mosquito. Don't think he can shoot it down though. IS-2 is also maneuvering around. It's actually a dangerous position if he actually decides to move up here, because you can get a flanking position from in here and over here. You can try to pincer it. That's actually quite realistic. So Avalser has to be very careful to clear things out properly and cover it off to some extent. He brings in another 85mm as the IS-2s arrive, very nicely timed, and the Yak 9s are coming in to deal with that annoying field engineer. Takes 2 strikes, but finally it goes down. Typhoon is in. Oh, I think that's the end of one of the Yaks. The other one might get forced off here. It's going after the L2KR. Yeah, that's a little bit too deep. I don't think it's going to get it. No. We could have gotten the Yak, but instead he decided to get the L2KR and is not going to add anything. That's a problem if you're a little bit too greedy. But yeah, definitely 2 of those are needed here to cover off for the IS-2 properly. Otherwise, you can just easily get overwhelmed. But we do see it done here. And Avalser will take control of the open very soon here. He also still has a massive army over here. Just needs to be careful to grind down some of the armor. But I think Gustgod is going to do him a favor and actually pushing, which I don't think is a good idea. His infantry will not be able to fight against this. And it's 1 tank. So if the T-34 wins that fight, that's goodbye to Gustgod's push over there. Also, we can't notice, but the 82mm 2 of those will obliterate things there quite nicely. We also have to remember that this thing is damaged. I think it definitely was. Yeah, we can also see it. So it doesn't take as many hits anymore to die. And there we go. Tank goes down, and Avalser counter push. This is where you have to be, you know, if you move into B phase and you are on the single tick, this is where you have to be very careful. You want to stay defensive. Even if you feel like things have somehow been going your way, just stay defensive, grind your opponent down. Don't make any necessary movements that sacrifices some of your precious units, because you might still need them. Because remember, your opponent is not strong when B phase starts. Your opponent is really strong when B phase ends. And he has had all the mighty income adding up. SU-122 now pushing into the center as well. Taking the wrong road here, which could cost him the, you know, it can be covered off by the killers. It is not, but, you know, if you just move forward a little bit, you could definitely do it. The flag still with Gustgod, though. Now, the advantage that Avalser has with his cheap infantry is he can actually send that out here just to grab that flag. And he might get sent running back, but it's only 15 points, and he has plenty of that. Gustgod has, of course, to be a little bit more careful with his precious units. They also tend to die much more easily. And now we have the push happening here. Shadows are pushing forward, no armor here to protect it. Recon suit coming in, but it's obviously not good enough. Long Tom coming in as well, quite close. Actually, it's a little bit dangerous, you know. I like artillery being far forward, but this is the one area where you could still expect the push. Over here is maybe much safer. There's another 85mm up here where the Typhoon now comes in, and it looks like, oh my. I guess he's trying it in a panic buy to pin that CS3, which he knows is there. Because he's making a very dangerous move. He could lose the Achilles for it. Yeah, that was quick thinking or lucky, one of the two. Because this could definitely have cost him quite significantly. Losing an Achilles, that would be absolutely devastating. The 45mm is still here. So the Steward or the Achilles could still lie to that, and that would be really problematic. You definitely do not want to have this happen to you. Or the Achilles is engaging the 85mm. Which, you know, is good for Gustgod's Air Force, but a problem for his dominance over here since the 45mm actually gets time to move up and safely engage it, I would reckon. Not a field engineer is coming in, but, no, he can't spot anything. It must be spotting the Achilles. There we go, he got a pen. And down it goes. Yep, big win there for Avalser. Now, the Achilles is not super expensive, but it's an important unit, so that going down, quite problematic. Again, I think Gustgod, you know, got a little bit too a bit ahead of himself. It's also pushing into here, which is obviously dangerous if the Yak 9 is still there and his A coverage is not as close anymore. I think it's going to get the bombs off. It might pay for it. No. Oh, barely saved. Might actually go down here then. That's problematic for Avalser because he needs his Air Force. Or he will need it, I would reckon. Because there's still things he will struggle dealing with. And one of them is range. If he doesn't have the tanks to do it. Another Wolverine coming in over here. Definitely a nice move. He can actually outrange and just, you know, guard this flank from back in safety. Not Achilles coming in. Yeah, this one further back. I mean, this is how you want to do it. Like, there's really never ever a reason to put an Achilles this close, unless you specifically want to engage something like this. But even then, you need to clear this out first. But yeah, I think Gustgod is definitely showing some signs of getting a little bit too greedy here at some places. Now, Avalser is still taking it slow. But again, he doesn't really have a choice. I think he definitely needed to wait. But it couldn't have gotten any worse for him, really. Because he, you know, Gustgod got a 59 for quite some while, which means that Gustgod doesn't actually need to hold that long, or, can allow to be ticked by Avalser for a little bit longer. He has way more time to recover now, unless Avalser gets a 59 for a little bit, because then things equal out quite quickly. But other than that, IS-2, yeah, you don't want to engage that with the Achilles, or with the Cromwell, really. I love the smoke play and try to smoke it off, but he kind of failed. He brings his recon in now. I haven't even noticed that he went without recon. The IS-2 is missing horribly, but the Achilles just cannot pen it. Like, it won't happen. He's probably better off trying to kill it with the Cromwell 6, honestly. That will probably do more damage, all things considered. Gustgod has finally noticed, but it might be too late, and the Achilles finally goes down. Over here, the Long Tom is also getting involved. Is going after those 82mm mortars, and they are quickly dying. So Gustgod is holding strong over here. Definitely has the forces to do it. I was originally thinking he was a little bit too ahead of himself there, trying to, get rid of the A here so they can strike the IS-2, which at the moment is in a very controlling position, but not actually threatening him too much. But it looks like he's actually making the right call here and not doing that. Still a little bit risky of a call, to be honest, to buy this at the start of B phase when you should probably prepare to hold. But then again, if you can break down some of Avalser's forces before his full average income advantage kicks in, is actually quite useful. Now there's a 17-pounder over here. I'd actually love to see this in here, because this is actually dangerous for the IS-2. Again, you can get some side shots. This thing is also nicely armored on the sides, if you haven't noticed, but it's not quite as strong. 17-pounder can pen that. Up north, it looks like Gustgod finally lost this town. I mean, he was really just delaying the inevitable there. Eventually, your opponent's going to get in if he wants to, with Maverick income. And looks like he's getting slowly pushed out of this forest patch as well. But again, it's not that big of a deal. The flags are all the way back here. It is the one position where red side cannot easily get pressured early on. Unlike, the town, the open, and this. There we go. Finally, Avalser achieved the 13-11 and is pushing forward with his IS-2. I mean, he's noticed that he can finally do it. Achilles is moving in, but honestly, I mean, it's still good to have it so that he can, prevent some other units from moving in under cover from the IS-2. But at the same time, the IS-2 is still providing cover. There's only so much he can do. Oh, Gustgod tried to RT, but the IS-2's movement is not noticed yet. Firefly coming in. This one is going to the right position. Right over there when you can get the flanking shot. Or, just take out some of the support tools, really. Both are nice things to have. Yeah, Command IL-2KR getting in. If Gustgod focuses on one of them, which it doesn't, he's going to kill it. But I think the IL-2KR... Well, if it turns this way, I think it's going to die. If it turns that way, it's probably going to get out. Yeah, it should make it out. These tools are not quite good enough. Oh, I just heard an SMG. Heard a PPSH. I expected more than, the Cherno pushing through, but it's going to do it. So that will probably be the 14-10 for Avalser. Never mind, 12-12 again, as this flag just barely re-grabbed by the Achilles. I mean, basically, all that Gustgod needs to do is he needs to put one unit in there. 17-pounder got a hit on the SU-1 to do. Ooh, that's quite problematic. But he can do the ground attack. Decides not to do it, though. Saxon is now focusing on the A as well. With the big spread, it might actually just happen. Surprisingly enough. I think you can actually do 17-pounder spotting what? The T-34 leader? Ooh, you definitely don't want to have that happen. Oh, he's engaging with the Achilles as well. I really love the thinking, however, this is not... I don't think out of these is going to get a side shot here. You need it in here. This is what gives you the side shot. But obviously only if your opponent exposed is a little bit too reckless. Unless you can move it out here. That actually works by the looks of it. Well, we actually should check like this, yeah. So maybe it needs to be over there. But it's still possible. Now down here, note the arty part is all focusing on the A now. This one's actually focusing down one specific AA piece. That could actually do it. Achilles still pushing, but again, I do not think he's going to get a side shot here. This is not... They're both hitting the front. Not sure what Harris is spotting, but the Firefly is now also engaging something. No, it's not anymore. Well, it's going to get stressed out. Ooh, one of the AA pieces is pinned. I think 2 Rocket Typhoons might have a chance of getting in now. Do you have T-34-85 now coming out for the town, actually? Oh, the Achilles did go down. The Cromwell 6 is trying to do it, though. There we go. Falling back. Already recovered, though. Harris is now also engaging, but Harris is not going to get side shot either. I don't think. Yeah, the S2 is being pushed back, but except for the 2K, I don't think much damage has been done. Actually, it took some damage. But again, I really think that's mostly HE damage. Oh. SU-152 is here to save the day, kill off the, what's it called? 6-pounder. And we have a nice push over here with an AA piece supported, you know, which has pennant range, supported by 2K and some close range AT guns and some infantry. So I think this flag will also fall very soon. But he needs more pressure in other positions. He finally got this back fully. We do have 2 Achilles here. Wow, that's quite the investment. Now that can definitely do some work, but he needs to use it at the appropriate range. So, like somewhere over here, where its main goal is really just to keep things at a distance, or over here, where the goal doesn't really change. It's still there to keep things at a distance. Over here, the push is actually slowly happening. SU-152 was forgotten by Alex, so he could waste a lot of ammo here, which is a bit of a problem. But if he can resupply, it's not the biggest issue here. Oh, gun chamber on the Steward. Still 45mm and 85mm is opening up. And the Wolverine really can't do anything. Like, it will not win against the 85mm. Unless it gets into 50 cal range, but I think even then, I just do it fast enough. SU being focused once again. We do have an off-map here in the town. That's maybe a bit of an overkill. I think Gustgod is, again, focusing a bit too early on pushing here because, obviously, you know, Merrick income is still strong. He still wants to trade a little bit. You know, he doesn't have any pressure. This is why. Yes, the lead. So I think the right call for him is just to sit back and slowly trade. Like, you know, try to focus down the AA somehow. There we go, 85mm. And with some help with 45mm, takes out the Wolverine. But yeah, I mean, he wants to trade. Sit down, trade, sit back, trade. Kill off some of the AA, because then he has air superiority and he can basically do whatever he wants with his Typhoons. There's not that much Avalser can do about that. IS-2 did go down. I think to the artillery then, because I don't think anything here can really see it and get a side shot. No. It was the artillery. We just moved into the area the artillery was shooting at where nothing was actually, but that just ended up being enough. Now, with the American cone gone, he has to save quite a bit to get another one. And this is now where Gustgod really has an opening if he uses his 2K. Because there's only T-3045s and there's only so many of those. Meanwhile, Gustgod has Fireflies, there's not Crusader. He has a Challenger, he does have 2K, 2-pounders as well, although 17-pounders, sorry, which are also good for 2K, but do not provide any AT, which he will need to clear these guys out. Which can still be a problem at range. Another off-map coming, yeah, Gustgod is trying to push a little bit too early. He doesn't realize that he's actually still getting pushed, because he hasn't traded so well, because Avalser has taken it slow. And I think Gustgod's a little bit too early pushes and the heavy investment, they are leaving him not super strong on the map. Obviously, let's focus a lot on this part of the map as well, which is not providing him with much value at the moment. 6-pounders finding T-3045, leader. At this range, it should really struggle panic. It will get it eventually, although the T-34 might actually kill it before that happens. This is where, you know, you have the Achilles, you might as well use it for this. Use it or lose it. You always have to remember with those kind of tools, you want to use them smart, but you don't want to use them unnecessarily. Waste them. So you have to use them and not waste them, but you don't want to not use them because you feel like you're wasting them. Because if you never use them, you might as well just have lost them. Vickers coming in, yeah, there's definitely the right tool here to just stop, you know, take. And that's all Gustgod needs to be concerned about at the moment. Now, Avalser definitely needs to make some ground, but Avalser is still, I think, in control on the map. Outside of the IS-2. So if Gustgod ever starts, you know, taking advantage of that loss, I think he can easily win this. But if it just takes too long to do that, or doesn't do it at all, Avalser can actually just continue pushing in those places where he's in a good position. Now, off-map being called in here, but there's a Paradox, yeah, comes in and does reverse this immediately. I mean, this is some, you know, if I was Gustgod, I would definitely not be fighting over the town, unless I really have to. Because there's just no winning there. Like, even if he off-maps this and gets in, Avalser has so much CQC, and Gustgod really doesn't have that much, so there's just no point. Over here is probably, I think, a much better idea, because, you know, there's no row of houses where Avalser can fight his way through back into the game. If Avalser is out here, then you have open. And then Gustgod in control again. There's just not that much that Avalser can do in that to get back in. So this would be, you know, one way to secure this flat and potentially even get another one. Like, these areas here, I think, are great for Gustgod. He wants to fight over those. Definitely. 5 mil is stationary at the moment, and the long tom is there to try and punish it. No radio coverage though, so it's going to take a little bit longer. Assault engines, they have no answer to those after those Shrafniki. And there's a 17 pounder, but at the moment he can't do anything because there's nothing there. And we do have another IS-2 coming in, so the open is once again a little bit threatened. Yeah, Gustgod needs to start. Gustgod really needs to win this. I think this is angle. He either wins this or he wins this big and takes the whole hill and gets into a very deep position here. And then he needs to hope Avalser can't bring another IS-2 to, you know, move him out of there. But I think those are the kind of two plays that he has now. Avalser, I think, is doing just the right thing, but he needs to get the 15-9, which he actually can achieve over here. So if he gets this, the 15-9 is probably waiting for him. This is, oh yeah, forgot about this. This is obviously one way you can win the town fight, but it's a slow way. It's not going to be it's not going to be fast. Oh, G45 here, being quite annoying. Firefly could definitely move in and do that. Off-map going down there as well, but the units are already falling back. It is a major mistake there. Gustgod's definitely not timing things well. He wants to drop the off-map. Ooh, what just took that? Something killed it. Oh, Achilles found a nice little angle, I reckon. Because it was also damaged, assuming the T-45 was shooting at it. Now, if those move in at the right moment, they can actually do it. But other than that, it's very mistimed. Because obviously, you know, you're going to drop the off-map and you can actually follow it up. T-45 now coming in here as well. For the town again. It's just covering off this road. It's actually quite effective, by the looks of it. Now we have a row of rifle speed coming in. The Javniki officers are also pushing forward. Close range artillery support. No, it's going after the SU-122 this time. I think he might not have spotted the IS-2 yet. So Avalser taking it quite slow though. I mean, he has the units here. All he will need to do is slowly get moving and send some infantry over here as well to grab that. He can force off the challenger, probably. Off-map did go down, but no follow-up by Gustgod. Saxon also not working on it. 82mm mortar on the other side, on the other part of the map, actually focusing on the assault engineers. A Shrafniki officer easily wins that fight. Oh, and the Achilles gets spotted by the 85mm and taken out. Another one is actually way too close, yeah. Gustgod really has a thing for putting these Achilles way too close to the front line. Like, they should be back. It's a 2K tool. You buy them for the 2K. So use them at 2K. And if you lose them at 2K, that's alright. But you definitely don't want to lose them up close. That's not a way of... Do you have an artillery? Wow, there's a lot of leadership over there. Especially with the steward as well. But again, it's a lot of units actually, like, bunched up in here that at the moment do not really stop any push that is happening. It's a bit of an odd choice there. Whereas this, I think, is a real threat at the moment. Oh, and it looks like at some point here the Crusader AA died. There's no Bofors was ever called in here. So Avalser's Air Force actually quite dominant here. You actually go after Long Tom if you really wanted to. Because it's close to the front line. There's nothing protecting it. Now the Bofors is coming in. Yeah, that was definitely needed. Oh, that's actually a dangerous one. If this moves just a little bit further over there, you could actually snipe it as he gets in. Yeah, obviously Avalser doesn't know this. So that's just, no, unfortunate for him. Oh, Achilles got the first pen on T-34. Is he going to follow up with another one? Because it is damaged already, so it might go down here. No, T-34, 85 misses, and Achilles hits twice in a row. It's actually quite lucky for Gustgod there. Challengers are now coming in as well. And this over here is already quite tricky, because he can definitely force back that 85mm. Slowly kill it off. You know, those tools are obviously not very good at doing AG damage, but they will eventually wear down something like the 85mm and kill it slowly off, and then the Air Force is back into action. Off-map dropping down, but once again, I don't see the... He has some infantry, but it's not really enough to follow up. I think Gustgod is not being patient enough. He can still wait for a bit. Like, he has time. He can wait 10 more minutes if he needs to be. If he turns it around then and get the take going, he can do it. Meanwhile, the IS-2 is, you know, overlooking the open, but I think that was actually quite a bad investment for Avalser, since he doesn't actually do anything with it, and Gustgod isn't actually pushing with it. Still has plenty of AA coverage, and the 85 was actually supporting this as well, so Gustgod's not going to get in here anytime soon. So Avalser again, he just needs another flag. At the moment, I think he's grinding better than Gustgod, so I have some doubts that he can do it without the 15-9. I do believe he does need it, but it's not actually looking that... Like, if Gustgod continues to trade badly, I think Avalser might actually still be able to take this. However, Avalser's long-term problem is the artillery. Like, the longer he waits, the more value this is going to get. And if Gustgod ever decides to actually focus... Well, he does focus off the A, just, you know, tries to do that across the whole map, which is not as efficient. But, you know, if he uses a plane to just bait out AA over here, where his artillery is actually close to, and he might even have radio coverage. He actually has radio coverage for this. He doesn't know that, but, you know, he knows it's somewhere over here, because it was there earlier. Then you can slowly grind it down. Oh, yes, you got a side shot. By something. 17 pounder, most likely. Harris is now engaging as well, but Harris is not going to get a side shot from there. Challenger is also going after it. Well, now Harris might get a side shot. He doesn't get the line of sight on it. He needs. The 5mm is sniping some assault engineers in the meantime. Harris now actually pushing forward. Wow, that's quite risky. Not sure if Gustgod really wants to push this. He doesn't need to. Like, there's no need to push it. If he pushes close and he has to, like, move slowly over there, he's actually got another chance of going after the Challenger and the Firefly. Yeah, we'll get in, drop the bombs. It's not going to be enough. But at least one Shavniki officer is down. We're still a massive fight. Yeah, these guys definitely, you know... I know they're a hybrid unit, but they're not a particularly good hybrid unit for this price, so there's no point in going that far. Yeah, now the IS-2 can... Oh, wow, what a lucky hit there. Wow. Gustgod really gets all the lucky he could want today. At this range, the Challenger penning the IS-2, that chance is so low. Unless it was... No, it couldn't have been that one over here. Could it? Or was it? No, that killed the T-34-85 by the looks of it. No, there's no way. It has to have been this Challenger. And it wasn't even showing side armor. I don't think. No. Wow. That was super unlucky. Because I was going to say, the play was a massive mistake. There was no need to push. And he pushed anyway. And against an IS-2, which, you know, he closed some distance. But even at 1750 meter range, it should not be enough pen, really. There we go. Mosquito's going to bait out the A. Is Gustgod going to follow it up? Yeah, he's immediately targeting it. But that might die soon, and that actually gives Gustgod a lot of room to maneuver over here, because then he can start bombing everything he can't deal with, and when it comes to CQC, that's pretty much everything, really. So that's going to be actually quite massive, and over here, the Saxon is now working on the Superior Rocks, bringing it to 3011 for Avalser. Gustgod taking his flags back very slowly. This one is actually the last one that he still needs. Then take care of that after Shavniki Officeri. You know, these will definitely do the trick. He has it, and he still just needs to hold. If he equals out now, all he needs to do is hold. Nothing else needs to be done. So again, I think this should be the focus here. It's not happening, so he might still lose this if he continues on with this. Cromwell now pushing forward. Oh, one of the 85 mils going down. Yeah, things are definitely changing drastically for the worse for Avalser. He's losing his AA coverage, and that is really essential. Any target that Gustgod cannot deal with, if the AA is gone, is just going to get bombed or rocketed or whatever needs to be done. So that is quite tricky. But Saxon are being used out of radio range quite often, which is a bit of a misplay in my opinion. Like, it could still be used to go after this. Superior Rocks will kill those guys off. Although it's quite low. Both are actually quite low. So with the assault engineers having arrived too, I think they might actually go down. 85 million being moved forward quite aggressively. Is he going to get focused down? Not yet. Oh, something just got penned. The Cromwell 6. Yeah, those are actually quite key here to, you know, deal with those. They're in annoying areas. Interesting use of the off map is dropping it onto these units. Which again is a little bit of a mistake there because, you know, you need to use them where the CQCs where you can't deal with. Oh, assault engineers got stopped in. Now, this one is recovering at the edge of the force, which is actually quite good because it will need it against the Aftershavniki officer. That being said, despite this, you know, being super powerful and being at double that, if the field assault engineers recovers with the flame, it will force it to move. It will do 1 damage, and it might actually be able to finish it off before it dies itself or is fully pinned. If the other one arrives, this is very likely to happen, and especially if these come in as well. There we go, assault engineers make the move. This could bring it back to, well, no, he's lost 14. He's lost it again, but now he got the third 11 again. Shavniki officer, there we go, at 1 health. Last burst of the Brenny in this case is buffed up, will take the win here. There we go, and that's another flag for Gustgod, bringing it back to a 12-12. And I think this should be game over for Avalser. It's just no way. Like, he still needs to get another flag lead. But if you look at the map, red is not as dominant. I think Gustgod has really not traded all that well for it. More Bofus coming in. More Saperi coming in here. Yeah, that's the one problem that Gustgod will run into in this particular area. Avalser really can just continue going, and this is really why the op-map would have been so important to save up, so that you can use it when you actually end up in fighting over those forest patches. But you know, he still has the artillery, still has the planes, so it's a little bit. Oh, Tanko got in. That might actually flip the flag again. Yeah, this is the problem with this particular flag. There's just it's tough for Gustgod to make any ground there if Avalser is allowed to move back in with some CQC. And it's kind of hard to prevent that. I mean, he's moking it off quite nicely, actually. Long Tom is trying to go after it. Half-Track gets killed off by the Sherman. Tanko is pinned. Rifle Spear, no, he's not moving in over there, he's moving in over here. It's interesting to see that both players still decide to fight over this, because neither of those will get a massive advantage. Don't think Avalser will manage to get back into this flag and hold it long term, considering the air force that Gustgod has. Meanwhile, Gustgod, if he takes it, he has another angle on this flag. So I see a little bit more of a reason for him to actually go after this. Over here, he's making his push. There's one Shavniki officer, but there's no after Shavniki officer, which would definitely be needed to stop that. So Gustgod making a move, he might actually be able to get this flag. There's no AA coverage over here. So there we go, Typhoon can come in. Oh, that will hurt quite a bit. If he gets a hit on this Saperi and kills or pins them, that is massive. Yeah, Gustgod can actually move in. If he can get surrounded there, that would be huge. Be absolutely massive. This 3 being killed off. There's nothing here outside of the T-4045 that can deal with the armor. And there is a Wolverine that can kill the T-4045. It's quite huge there. Saxon is providing some support. It's actually going to shell the assault engineers here. Recon about... No, not spotted yet. Got pinned by the shell, but not, not by the actual infantry unit. Not always too. Avalser has saved up all his income, but he really needs to make this count now. Like, he needs to use this to actually get this flag. Well, if he can hold that one, maybe not. But I think he might need 13-11. Gustgod might be able to stop this again with one nice airstrike and some artillery usage. So I'm not really sure about that. I mean, if you can hold that tick, it might be enough. I think it's going to be enough. So that would do it. And, you know, Gustgod not having made any move here means that now he's in a position where he just can't make them anymore. So that could be a win for Avalser here with the IS-2. Now, it looks very stupid to buy this now, but I think if Avalser is certain that he can hold this and not lose any other flags, which at the moment is not really, looking like Gustgod's going to take another one, then that would basically leave this flag as the only place for Gustgod to get any ground, meaning the IS-2 is the right answer. It's the only thing that can prevent that from happening. 3045s can still do it against the challengers, although I'm not so sure how many of those are left. And those can actually be killed off gradually, so just waiting for the IS-2 is definitely the better choice here. Oh, and there we go, IS-2 going after the challenger and gets the kill! I mean, it's only fair that it also first hit once. Like, you know, it missed quite badly previously. So, getting the one tap, well deserved. 85 mil is probably not enough to stop both of these. But if it pins both of these enough, they might just miss enough. Yep, that made the difference. I'm pretty sure if this one did not get that one hit by the 85 mil, that IS-2 would be dead. Obviously, yeah, well, it looks quite damaged. Obviously, it's always a little bit, you know, luck-based, but that kind of thing really matters. Like, you can actually make rocket planes miss somewhat reliably if you use AA that can just tickle them a little bit. And that's going to be enough. Ooh. Recon is taken out. It's actually more of a problem because the 35 mil could get some side shots over here. I don't think these tanks would know this in time. T-34 being engaged now. Disengaging. No, the Sherman noticed, and it's going to finish off that 45 mil. There we go. Oh, Su-152 engaging first means that the T-45 has now the right timing as the Wolverine needs to re-aim. Oh no, it's not. It's getting stuck on the assault engineers that both have the same starting point here, because that would have been quite useful, obviously, if you know, the Wolverine was aiming at the Su-152 and then the T-34 moves in, immediately aims at the Wolverine, whereas the... Oh, he needs to align first. It aims super fast, but the turret rotation, screwing it here. Now, it shoots a little bit faster and gets the kill! Wow! When Brasgel 2K tried to strafe it, to stress it out enough to either, I don't know, kill it off, or just, you know, stress it out so that it misses. But it just fails. But not a lot left here for Avalser. So Gustgod, if he makes the final move, could actually get in there. Now over here, oh, IS-2 is not actually doing anything. It's shifting over there, probably to cover off this flag, which makes sense since this flag is not actually actively threatened, and the Rozvedka can confirm this. So this one I mean. Ooh, cluster stopping the Sherman there. It's got quite massive, another 45 million here to cover that off. New forces coming in for Gustgod, but he's not actually going. He's not going all in. He's going quite careful back over there. Well, at the moment, that's all he needs to do. But I think with how things have been going, I think now he actually wants a little bit of breathing room. So now he definitely wants to get a flag. Oh no, I missed it again. What killed it this time? And where is it? Is there? Oh no, we got side shot. Instead of moving in over there, it moved back over here and probably got side shot by the challenger. Yikes. I mean, those challengers doing the work, killing off the T-34 Comrade over there now. And the Vickers can actually move in and kill off the Rozvedka, removing vision from Avalser, and then he can actually just get in and take this. The 85 can't really do much in the position it is in. And even if it moved forward, you know, the challenger can move back a little bit and just keep hammering it. Gustgod gets the flag over here, bring it to 12-12, because he lost that one still. So, and it doesn't really look like he's going to get it back, because I can't see any infantry coming in. He might be out of infantry now, or low on it at least. A bit of a problem, because Avalser still has plenty. Well, maybe not plenty, but he has some to go around. And it is CQC too, which is actually quite important. This thing could actually pin that rifle spear, and that would be the end of that. Gustgod really needs to make sure that he does not get single ticked again by Avalser. He may be safe by now, but he might also not be safe by now. So he needs to make some pushes. Now he's definitely outtraded Avalser. Like, he's turned things around properly. What he needs to do now is... I think he can it's okay to just hold for him now. 13-11. It's going to be a close one. I think it's going to be enough, but I'm not 100% sure, actually. I'm really not. He actually has a lot of forces over here that are at the moment not really all that useful. And, you know, in the places where he actually needs them, he doesn't really have much at the moment. It's quite unlucky for him. Rifle Spear are not in the range to deal with the half-track, but he gets the flag, so he stalls a little bit. think 1 minute enough. 1 minute more should be enough. This is, you know, one of those moments where the bazooka would have been in range for that, but the Piat being the Piat just means that he was not. Vickers pushing forward could actually, you know, get the flag. And now it's actually dangerous for the challenger as it gets a little bit too close to the 85 mil. Oh, he's left AA coach as well, and the Yak 9 isn't there. Can he still see it though? That's the question. Yes, he can. No, actually, he missed. Typhoon now coming in. So challenger, what is it shooting at? Oh, the half jack. There we go. Third line for Avalser still. He had a big strike over there. It's not quite enough to move in. Crusader A is moving forward, probably into the T-30-45. Wolverine is pushing forward as well. Gustgod is finally making a move. At this point, it doesn't really matter what. It's going to be really close, but Gustgod is going to take the win here. And yeah, it's not going to be enough time. It is really close. Like, Avalser almost got it. He traded really well, even into... There we go. Yeah, he traded equally, actually. It's just that with the income advantage, balance eventually is going to take the lead. But he traded so well. He really very effectively delayed Gustgod for quite a while. I think Gustgod made some crucial mistakes here by not switching from defense to offense and vice versa at the right times. And obviously wasting a lot of resources in those CQC areas where he didn't keep the off-map up for. But, you know, it was enough. And this is really impressive, actually. Like, you know, there is quite a skill difference between these two. So it's a very, very impressive achievement by Gustgod for taking the win. So congrats again for this win. Unfortunately, I already knew what was happening. But, I mean, if you watch this, it's just amazing how close it was. But yeah, so Avalser, so far it's 1-1 for the two. Now, game 3 was won by Avalser, so he will move into Division 2, and rightfully so, in my opinion. No offense to Gustgod. Also, obviously, I hope Avalser is fine with only having the loss casted, because honestly, the wins, again, there's a bit of a skill difference, and those are just not that interesting games, in my opinion. Third one I haven't actually seen, but the first one I have, so there's that. But yeah, we're probably going to see more of him in the future. He's actually quite a good player. He doesn't play tournaments all that often, so that's why we don't see him very often, but I'm excited to see more of him again. Looking at the chronology, we can definitely see at the start it was kind of going both ways, really. Gustgod had his good moments, Avalser had his good moments. Actually, Avalser had a bit more good moments. I mean, yeah, obviously he out-traded Gustgod, so... For a long time, not in total, but for a long time. And with the IS-2, he kind of flipped again. Now, the Staghound at the start did some good work. The Achilles did some good work too. 6-pounder. Oh, look at that thing go. That was actually massive. It's a nice win there. Saxon doing some good Saxon stuff. Typhoon doing good Typhoon stuff. Achilles doing 2K stuff quite well as well. And the Challenger. It was the same Challenger! Ooh. I mean, one thing is for sure, it did challenge the IS-2. So much for that. Now, 85 mil. Oh, look at that thing go. I actually got a lot of value too. I mean, I've also used that really well. The Yak 9 also quite successful. The military police unit also, same thing. T-45 doing quite well, not a Yak doing quite well. The IS-2 getting some kills too. I think pay off. Yeah, definitely paying off. 2 Achilles, 17-pounder, Cromwell 6. Absolutely paid off. C-152 doing some 2K shenanigans. Oh, look at that 85 mil here as well. Yeah, I mean, Gustgod really did not respect the range of this thing. And he sent tanks into areas that were way too close, and then he got killed by those. That is absolutely avoidable. Now, what I missed, I didn't actually see this. This thing killed Typhoon. That's actually quite rare to happen. This 3 also got some kills it should have no business getting. Like, these have 2K range, these has 1500 meter range. So, sorry for being so critical, but it was like we saw so many tanks being suicided at ranges or worse the IS-2 when they shouldn't have been. It was actually pretty insane. T-30-45, yeah, is a perfect tool to just force back some Shermans. It's one of the reasons where at a closer range, this thing is really annoying for allies to deal with. And We've seen this a few times, actually. The other IS-2 killed the Challenger before the other Challenger challenged it to a duel, and then it lost. 45 million at the end, that was actually quite useful as well. So some really good kills here on Avalser's side. I mean, you can see his skill by just the traits and what he made, like how he made this division work. So it's actually quite impressive. But I think, so one thing that I've noticed, I've seen this multiple times now, where some players with heavy tanks on the good side of the map actually lose. And I really kind of feel that the more I play them, the more I feel like, you know, while the good side is obviously still the good side for a reason, the terrain that it has is definitely a little bit worse. And if you rely on those heavy tanks, there's not that much that you can actually get out of them more often than not. Unless you have enough pressure on, in the town and on the side down south that we've seen. Because if you don't have that, the heavies have some limitations. And obviously, as soon as your opponent gets any tools to actually deal with them, you can hide in those forests, or if you can hide infantry units there and just make it so that your infantry can move forward and get the flag, then that heavy's not actually going to do much. But we've seen this really multiple times recently on this map. And so it just is a pattern that I think it's not random, let's put it at that. That doesn't mean that the bad side is not actually bad, but it's just something that I noticed. But also, massive respect for Gustgod to not only pulling this off, but also pulling this off from the bad side. But anyway, hope you enjoyed this. I hope you had fun. Thanks for watching. Have a great day, and see you all in the next one.